guys, welcome back to my channel. So we are finally sitting down and doing the Q&A. So I asked you guys to ask us questions on YouTube, on Instagram, Snapchat, what's left, Twitter, Facebook. Why are there so many? We meant to like pre-discuss some of these. It didn't happen. That's the truth. It did not happen. No, but I did write them all down. And we do have definitely some like kind of questions that are very similar to each other, but we'll still go through them all. But let's just get into it. And we're just being super casual right now. Starting with Instagram. First question is from Nicole Renee, which actually lives local to us. Hi, Nicole. So she wants to know, what is one of our earliest memories of each other? Now, real quick, just for those that are newer, we have been married for 11 and a half years almost. But we've been together for 13-ish, 03.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just to put that out there. But yeah, what is one of our earliest memories of each other?
There was some spacing from the first time we met. Like the first time we met, it was like completely like not even an acquaintance at that point. It was a, hey, I heard you could put a banner on my Nokia 9800 cell phone, which we all had, by the way. And I hacked it. I learned the manufacturer code so I could change where it said like AT&T or Verizon or Sprint. I could change that to whatever you wanted.
It's a big deal.
It was a huge deal at our school. It was a big deal.
And I had heard that, and this was like 2 years before we actually met.
Yeah.
And I remember I was like, hey, you're the guy. He's like, who's this?
Yeah, I was very antisocial at the time too. I was like, this?
Hey. And yeah, I remember you changed it for me. I was like, hey, you're so cool, thanks. And you were like scared of me because I
thought
drove.
She was completely
like I was stuck up.
Dude, she drove a brand new Mustang, which was like my ideal car at the time. And she wanted her little tagline on the top was Miss Tang.
Miss Tang.
And I immediately thought to myself, this bitch. This stuck up Clovis brown nosed little daddy's little, which she is. And so that was my original first
But the funny part is too, one of my like first like memories of like what stands out to me is he called me, and I had my own phone line. That was a big deal.
So cool, guys.
So cool.
That was
a landline. You know, those don't even like exist anymore.
And because the phones were all prepaid, paid by minute back in the day. So it wasn't like, don't call me on that. You're gonna burn that up.
You're gonna burn my minutes.
Mom gonna be pissed. Mom will be pissed. She needs to buy me more minutes before the end of the month. And we're not even poor, and that shit was real.
So I remember I got a phone call from him of asking me out on a date, and he was very like smooth, of just like, keep in mind we were seniors in high school.
Smooth.
It was. I just think when I say that, I mean that really like sarcastically.
Okay, good, because I was like, that shit was bad.
He was like, I think you're really cool, and he did, and and I was like, okay, and he's like, I just wanted to know if you want to like go out sometime. Bear in mind, my whole thought the whole time is like, here's this nice guy. What's the catch? Like, am I a bet? Because because I was
It's real.
Yeah, I kind of like semi-dated one of his close friends. And when I say dated, like a date, but then someone else.
What up, Chad?
Hey.
Chad's not watching.
but so I just felt like, why is this guy calling me now? It was just bad timing on that way. And I also remember asking you, how'd you get my number?
And she says that hella casually, was not that. Called, hey, this is Nate. Who?
And I was like, how'd you get my number?
Gave it to me.
So I gave him my number to try to set him up with a friend of mine. Hey, Nikki.
Hey, Nikki.
To go to formal with, because I really wanted her to go to formal because I was going with someone, and so I needed to get her a date. I was like, this guy, I'll get this guy, and I didn't really know him, obviously. So I gave him my number to let me know if you could go with her.
Yeah, she had a big drawn out plan, never informed anybody, and me thinking just this super cool chick. Yeah.
But so those are some of like the really early memories for sure.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of funny how that all panned out. But yeah.
It's not the greatest start to the book, is it?
What are you gonna do? And I'm not answering these in any like particular order at all. So from YouTube though, I think is pretty much the rest of them. So I liked this question, and I'm not going in any order like I said, so they're gonna be kind of all over the place. So Teresa Sanchez, hi Teresa. This one is, I like this one. I didn't read this to you. If I was to be invited for dinner to our house,
right on.
Would it be disrespectful if I ate meat in your house? I love it. I love the question.
I would be offended if I came to your house, Teresa, and you straight up were like, you have to eat meat. Or if I didn't eat meat, you would be like, oh, but I cooked this steak for you. And I would just be like, well, I don't eat that. But I wouldn't want you to be offended by me. Why would I be offended by you? But I'm not, I mean, if you requested, if I invited you for dinner and you seriously were like, hey, I don't want to eat what you guys eat, but we can be friends. And you were like, hey, can you like buy me a steak or something and like make it? I make a hell of a steak. I did for many years, and I guess I would oblige just to the simple fact that I don't want to be rude. But like, if you come over and expect there to be meat, like
no.
I'm not gonna do that. But
I would just say for me, it doesn't really bother me. It doesn't, but I think it's a cool question. It's just interesting because it's something that like we could definitely be put in the situation of. Yeah. But it doesn't really bother me, but I wouldn't go pre-buy it though. I just thought the question was really cool.
It's a good question.
Mm-hmm. Vegan in Washington from YouTube, and also her name's Carly. What is our proposal story?
Oh Lord. Okay, I'll tell it to the best of my recollection. So here's the bad part. It's
not a good story. It's really not.
And I don't remember it in detail because it was one of those things where like I was so let down at the time by the whole thing that I kind of like forgot about it.
And it kind of set the whole preface of our relationship too, really. We've been dating for like almost 2 years.
Yeah. So I mean,
or just over 2 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
We went on a trip with our two close friends at the time to Six Flags Magic Mountain. And we went, but we were staying in a hotel, like a little cheapy hotel.
I messed up on that one. I got us a hotel and thought we got a good deal, but it looked good from the picture. It was pretty bad. And we all shared a room, which was not like a big deal on like, we didn't care. It was just more of, again, not really a intimate setting for us. And we were planning to go to, granted, we were 19 years old. You know, and we were planning to go to Six Flags like the next day. So the friends that we went with, one was a girl, one was a guy. They were a couple, and I was very close with the girl, and you were close with the guy. And I remember talking to her the whole time of just like, I know he has the ring. I know it. Do you know something? And poor them, because they did know that you were planning to propose at Six Flags the next day. But being in Kim fashion, bugging the shit out of everybody.
I don't do surprises. I don't do like knowing there's something over my head. I don't like it. I still don't. So I really just pestered them, like all of them. And it kind of killed it, because it was one of those, if he did propose at that point, it would almost be like, see, I told you. And
Which is every surprise I ever try and do for my whole life.
Yeah, sorry. And so I remember they left the room, probably to get the hell away from me. Yeah, I was just like, I know you have it. And you're like, I remember you just said, fine, do you want it? And he gave up. He just gave up. And I was like, yeah. And I
pretty much threw it at her.
Basically did.
I pretty much took it out of my pocket and I was like, here, have it.
Yeah.
There you go.
And then I was just like, oh. And I remember, so there was no on one knee or anything. And
but see, people are going to hold that against me.
They are. They should.
It was bad. It was bad. She was so annoying. Literally, like, and I'm not that good at like secrets. So like the moment she starts asking me like to my face, like that stare into the eyes of I know you have it, and I'm just like I don't know what you're talking about. Just stop, God help us all. Just stop. This and the other thing. And finally I was just yeah, no, I do. Hey, do you want it right now? Do you want it right now? You want it? Here.
Yeah.
Hey, there you go. Congratulations.
You got it.
Like,
you win.
You win.
And then it was like I was happy, and I remember you did give me a hug and you did ask me officially, but it was never like it did not go to plan.
No.
And then it was one of those two. You come to find out, of course, what do? I wanted to tell my parents, which I did, which was fine. You didn't pre-tell them, which you now know would be a big no-no of like you pre-asked the dad permission.
Yeah, I did.
You messed that up. And it's kind of funny because Nate is so like, ma'am, sir. He's really respectful on those kinds of things.
I want to say there's not a good reason, but there's like reasons behind. Like we got busy, or like something came up, and it was something on the plate, but it should have been much higher on the list of things to do.
It should have been up there.
It should have been much higher.
So I remember, like, when I got on the phone with my parents, like, my dad talked to you on the phone of, like, you're gonna take care of her, and that's the way it is, and so it was all good, but it was just not to plan at all.
When we got home and we saw him, I could tell that there was a little
he eventually even has told you that was something that rubbed him the wrong way, but not enough to,
But it was literally like the only thing. Your parents loved me from the start because you dated a whole bunch of asses beforehand.
I didn't date a whole bunch. You make it sound like a plethora.
Hey, Danny.
So I'm sorry if that was disappointing for our proposal, but that was the truth of it.
I missed the whole, setting up the scuba diving trip and the underwater thing and all that.
So Samantha Georgevich, hi Sam, she asked, how do we handle jealousy?
Hold on, who's Sam?
Well, her name's Samantha.
Samantha.
Georgevich. You've seen these names.
Yeah.
These are all my ride or dies. But how do we deal with jealousy? And it's just funny, I felt like that was a good one to go off of, like, hey, all my exes, I don't really have. We've been together since high school. How many could I possibly have? About 10. My nickname, if you must know, was Prude, because I really actually was a lot of talk, and I kissed boys, but I never did anything with anybody. That's the truth. So I'll
start with mine, because I'm the one that's reasonable. I married her. There's no reason for me to be jealous of anything. I believe in boundaries and all those things, and I'm very upfront about what those are and what's okay and what's not okay in my mind. And I've expressed those things. And I think we've both expressed those things, but for some reason... until those boundaries are crossed, I literally do not get jealous.
He really doesn't. And that almost like, I think as a girl...
She's like offended by this.
It's like you get offended of like, well, you just don't care. And it's taken me years to really understand that jealousy does not go in the same sentence as care. It's true, but I think it just takes maturity of getting there to...
What is your tea? Calm down.
It's okay. It's not tea.
The hell are you drinking?
It's coffee. Black.
No, it's not coffee. That's nasty.
It's good. But it took me a long time to come to that place. Do I still have jealousy tendencies? Yes, I do. But nothing near what it used to be at all. But I realize now that it's all about just communicating and trust. And if there's really ever been a true reason that I need to worry, then I have bigger things to worry about. But it's taken me a long time to get to that place, that's for sure.
That's fair. It's been a long road full of a whole bunch of arguments and pissed offness from her that I never deserved ever in a million years. And everyone out there who actually knows me realizes that like they're probably hearing this and they're just like, what the hell did Kim get jealous about? Like,
You know the Dane
she
Cook,
just made up shit.
the Dane Cook stand up of
When you're cheating,
you're just, yeah.
when you're cheating, but you overreact and blame that other person for everything that they could possibly be cheating on.
Oh God. Anyway, yeah. I mean,
Loose change,
you
you
whore.
whore.
Yeah. I just think there's so many other. I feel like we're just so past that point, but it just took time. I think so.
Okay, good.
I do.
I was ready for that to pass a long time ago.
I do. I wish I mean, to give like a better like advice to handling jealousy. I mean, I think it just takes time with the person and time with yourself to be very secure in what you want, what's okay, what's not, and that communication with your partner, I think. But I don't think it just happens. You are a freak of nature that like literally just is not a jealous person.
Right. Well, okay, so like in the earlier years, like even like maybe before we were married, or we got married so young, guys. So the right before marriage and the right after marriage, like it's
a blur.
it was a while ago
Yeah.
too, by the way. No offense to anyone out there that's been married for 20, 30, 40 years.
Babies.
We're we're still growing up. I'm still growing up. I'm a child. I'm a child. But anyways,
He really is. I meant to grab this before we sat down, and it just kind of like reminded me of it though.
Yeah.
This book I will link below, and we both have one. Although you only I think need to buy one. We both got one.
Yeah. Because we wanted to fill it out separately.
Yeah, this is called
compare.
How to Love Me, the Lover's Book of Questions. Now, I think this is technically, there was like a couple chapters or questions throughout it that I think is supposed to be technically before you are married that you do this.
Yes.
But
it's supposed to be earlier relationship
yeah.
stuff. Like to the point where like you think my relationship is serious, I can see something
Yeah.
in the long term, go buy this thing.
Yes.
And you'll find out.
But there is multiple chapters in here. The first one is called The Big Ones, and it's literally just a ton of questions on, like, some are multiple choice, some are fill in the blank, some are just, I mean, it's
some are
crazy.
either or.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
And I mean, this thing dives in deep. Like, nothing's off limits. And we did this. Well, I put the date when we actually filled this out, and I thought we could actually even do it again and like see if our answers have changed. But we did this July 13th, 2015. I was thinking about it too, of like, you know, maybe not go through all of them at all, but like we could even maybe do a sit down and do a chapter. One episode is one chapter, and we could do some of the big questions in it and talk about them.
And I would also say too that like some of those chapters we're not going to read on here.
Well, not all of it.
Because it gets that personal where it's just
really
like
does.
that. I mean, I'm all for sharing anything. If you guys have anything and you guys ask questions, and that's great. But there's certain things in this book where it dives so deep. It does. Like it's the stuff you keep in the closet in that drawer.
But
you know the drawer.
The drawer.
You don't go in the drawer except for when you go in the drawer.
But I think that's like a good point in itself of how like deep this goes. Is I think some of the stuff you possibly could read it and go what, or like, oh my god, I can't tell that person this. Yeah, and I think that's like very telling in itself, even though, of like if that's the case. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you probably do need to reevaluate how close you two really are. And that's where that's something Nate and I have connected on since being 17 years old. We've just been we're very close. There's nothing that we have not done together, said, that I can think of. There's no I mean, Jesus.
It's a literal ball and chain.
Literal.
Like you can't get rid of it. So I gotta live with it.
It's like a cockroach. So anyway, like I said, I will put this below though, but I think for any of you guys in a relationship, whether you're married or not, but especially if you're not, this is amazing. You guys will have a lot of fun and learn a lot about each other, for sure. But I think it will also help with any of those issues you have. possibly of like jealousy or just insecurities and stuff, you'll just get a better sense of who the other person is, and that helps a lot.
Yeah.
A lot. Okay.
I thought the book was really good.
Yeah. All right. So next question, Pretty D, Danny. Hey. So what is our favorite and worst moment together?
Favorite moment together.
We could say our wedding. Obviously, wedding's kind of easy. Kid. Although it's a favorite because it's a big event, but in the moment it was not a favorite event for me because ow.
One of the scariest goddamn moments of my life.
Yeah, scary. But I mean, obviously those are things though that are definitely answers, but let's try to think a little outside the norm. For me, my favorite together was surprising him to go to our first Chargers game. That was probably my favorite moment of just a time and doing something, because we had both never done that before. We've never been to a pro football game till then.
Yeah.
So that was just a cool thing to do together as a first. Mm-hmm. So I think that
was really good. For me, it would be looking back on it. Just when Austin was born, I took my my 6-week paternity leave stuff right after he was born, and not that like the stuff we was doing was the craziest thing in the world. Like it wasn't some vacation or something like that.
No,
but
it was healing.
At the time, I worked a lot.
Yeah.
I worked too much, and just having that kind of time to be home with a new kid and spending time with you and making some of those memories. That 6 weeks was really amazing, just because I was such a workaholic, and I never was home, and just to have that time was really amazing.
Yeah. Worst moment together.
A single moment?
Oh God. Oh man.
Oh yeah, there's.
Oh man.
We've gone through our hard times too.
Oh yeah.
And there's been some.
You guys are so sweet and so just like nice about us, and you love us together, and it's great. Obviously, just remember we are not above anybody else, any other couple, and we have definitely our hard times, and one day I will record it and you will be so uncomfortable and
just accidentally leave the camera on when a real fight starts.
Oh boy. Oh man.
But no, I think when you have a relationship with someone, when you have such a great relationship with someone,
you fight hard too.
You fight so
because you care,
so hard.
You know,
and it's I forgot the simple thing, like the unstoppable force meets the unmovable object kind of thing. But like she is just insane, and like I always hear that I need to stick up more for myself, and when I do, she gets so much more intense, and it's like when is there a point of break? And I feel it's like I always have to do it, but then for some reason after the fact, like I wasn't supposed to yet, and that was a letdown for her, and I'm like, literally, you had a knife to my throat. No. But no, I mean we've had our fights. Our relationship has been on absolutely both sides of the spectrum. And I think when you look at how good things are, today and some of our highlights over, I would say, the last 2 years of our marriage has been an absolute complete upside. Like this, the 10-year hit, and stuff has just been amazing. Yeah. And there were times, but there was a lot of
and
stuff.
We've changed a lot. You got to remember, being 17 to being 31 now, there's a jump. And I always believe people don't change. I was like set in my ways. No one changes. Right. That's not true. That's not true. And
I've learned that you don't marry the person you find and fall in love with. Throw that out the window completely. You find the person that you think you can grow up with.
Yeah, if you're getting married at that age,
that young. I even think we're gonna change. We're gonna be different people in another 10 years. Yeah. but I see myself growing with this person, and I see myself excited to grow with this person, and I think that's what makes a good marriage.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know though. To put in a true pinpoint though, I would just say, like he said, with the best memory being the 6 weeks home was around that time though, when it was just overwhelming of how much he was gone. It was just a bad time because all the things, the things just faltered. They really did. As far as like the communication that is so important, there was none. There was nothing. So that time was bad. Yeah.
Yeah, like right after he was born was one of my best moments, and I think it's just because there's such a heavy contrast to
being
a time period after that where, you know, I finally identified that work was a problem.
If we could keep only one, would it be, this is the same, Danny, would it be the cat or the pig?
God.
I literally cannot choose, but the truth, I know. But the truth is, the pig is a lot of work. He's a ton of work. So on that level, sure, I'd pick the cat over the pig, but I could never pick at all. I couldn't do it. I just can't. Because I need that face in my life.
Yeah, I
actually
no. Bumper's fun, Bumper's cool, all that good fun stuff, but good Lord. Man, he's a tasking little piggy.
Not little anymore too. Like he's little in the spectrum of a farm hog, but he's strong, he's big, he needs a lot.
He's got an attitude.
He's got an attitude just like his mom.
When he gets pissed, he's a jerk.
Yeah.
But I
can't pick.
Okay.
So next is from Betty Horn. Hi Betty. So where did we go on our first date? And what did we do?
We went to the movies?
We went and saw A Guy Thing.
A Guy Thing?
That was the very first movie we saw. So we saw that. We had, now I don't recommend this if you're very young. We planned to go to a dinner and a movie.
Yeah.
Dinner ended up being like beyond packed. I don't know what was going on, but it was. And we were like, well, we'll just go to the movie then. But that's a terrible first date. It really is, because you really, what do you do at a movie? You are silent and do nothing. And so it really was one of those, well, I'm hungry now after. God, that should have warned you at that time, because I'm always like, no, I have to eat in the movie, after the movie, before the movie. Anyway, but it's a long time for me.
Yeah.
But we actually went back to your place, your mom's house, and literally nothing happened. And in fact, it actually was a really good date. He made me mac and cheese.
I made her homemade mac and cheese. Like I boiled the noodles and I made a roux and
But I remember too, like telling my mom. So really, literally nothing happened, and it was a great date. I don't even think we kissed on the first date.
Yeah.
It was very respectfully done, but it was still probably not the greatest choice of mine, especially, or ours, of just putting ourselves in that situation.
Well, I didn't even think anything of it because I'm so innocent.
He really,
I'm such a stand-up guy. Even for back then, I was super like the stand-up guy where like I wasn't
you
gonna
didn't try
push
nothing.
anything. I'm not gonna try anything.
No.
Like I was firmly a believer in like we have to become friends before we.
Yeah. But I remember I told my mom later, like, because she asked where we went, like, to dinner, and I told her, and I came home with my extra mac and cheese, and she was like, "You what?" And I told her no, like, problem at all. It was no secret, because in my mind it was totally okay.
Yeah, it was innocent.
And then it clicked of like, she wasn't really mad at me. It was more like, who's this guy? You know, like it was kind of a bad first impression even of just like, you went back to his house. He took you to his house. But it really was what it was. And it was good though, because there was no distractions of, we actually got to know each other instead of being at a loud restaurant or nervous, really. It kind of just made it chill. So that's what was our first date. Charlene Brissette asks Nate, how's the new job going?
It's going good.
Yeah.
It's going good. Just, you know, respectfully and all that good fun stuff right now. I still have question marks about where I could end up and things like that, so I'm not like announcing where I work. But it is going, it's going very well, thank you. I'm learning a lot, and I'm also I'm giving my ideas of what's going on inside their workplace just from my previous experience. It's being received very well, and I feel I'm very. I have a thing where I want to belong in the workplace, and I think I'm fitting in well there. So
It's been good.
It's good.
Yeah. Stephanie Diaz, hi Steph. She asked, "What are your tips on marriage and how to deal with ups and downs as married life goes on?" As a doozy. Can I really give you truly like a do this, and this will be good and this will work for you? No. But I really think that this helped us a lot.
Yeah.
It did. And it took us, 9.5, 10 years into our marriage to finally do this or something like this, or really dig deep with each other. And it took all the fighting we had done up until that point, and it was just finally almost surrendering of what we thought we knew and kind of just rediscovering each other of what is important to one another. What's a no, what's a yes, what's negotiable, what's not. And that's what I really feel would help someone with true ups and downs, is kind of almost going back to the basics of who you are.
Mm-hmm. I think you have to be you.
Yeah.
Like, don't.
And I always say you have to fight, but you have to fight fair. But you have to fight. You have to go through it.
And don't. I think for me, you matured differently than I did, and in some cases a lot faster than I did. Mm-hmm. And later on in life, or more recently now, defining what I really want within a relationship changed just as much as I think yours changed. Mm-hmm. Yours changed a bit earlier than mine, you have to understand that that's going to happen too. It's not like one day a light bulb's going to go on for this person and it's also going to go on for this person because at the same time. That doesn't happen.
That's the hardest part,
and that's
because
the hardest
you really
part.
want it to. You really want that light bulb moment to happen at the same time. And even if it did, you would still have different ways of how you're going to get there. Right. So it just takes time, and we're actually still in that process now of we know what we want. We know what the goal is of what our relationship is, what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And we're still working on getting there. But the cool thing is, being married, where are you going to go? It is a journey,
We have time.
We have time.
Second part to my comment about that is you have to work. Mm-hmm. You have to work. You cannot be a spectator to your own marriage. You are in the game. Yep. You cannot take a sideline seat. And the moment you do take a sideline seat, man, you've determined that it's not worth it. Mm-hmm. So be in the game, be there with your partner, work with your partner, talk as much as you can, even though sometimes there's nothing to say. Yeah. And I've learned that the hard way.
That's when it's almost fun too to literally come up with even stupid hypothetical questions and stuff, because it gets conversation going.
Right, and then something will be said by the other person, and the other person will have questions about that, and it's like that person.
I'm telling you guys, this has it all. I swear to you, it does.
This took us actually to fill it out individually.
About 3 or 4 days to a week.
Yeah, and we did it for
hours.
3 to 4 hours a night.
It's a lot, guys.
Yeah, so there was 12 hours worth, but it was take an hour, fill out 2 chapters, 3 chapters, really think about it, and then there was a 3-hour conversation after that.
Yep, it was great.
And that's the part that I'm talking about, the working and the communicating and the talk, even when there's nothing to be said.
Yep. What are your favorite parts of marriage? Same from Steph.
I truly love the person I met and chose to be my wife. It's new and exciting a lot of the times, but deep down inside, even the bad days are good. And I think in some relationships that's not a true thing, but even when we have a bad, frustrating day, this, that, the other thing, I can still, go to bed at night or wake up in the morning and know that I have a consistent thing in my life that I absolutely love and can't live without. That's where you guys got to get to right there. And That's how I really feel. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie. There's times where we fight and we go to bed, and she's pissed off to holy hell, and I'm just tired and I want to go to sleep because I'm done. And the next day, I'll wake up and I'll be refreshed, ready to go, and she'll still be stewing, and that's not a good day either. but
it's your rock. It's that it'll always be there. That's the best part. To me, when we took vows, even at 19 years old, and I've said it since then, it wasn't about so much all the words and all the things everyone says at the altar. It's for me, and I remind myself of it. I do sometimes, of you are promising to do everything you can do in your power, everything to keep up on that vow. Sometimes that takes creativity. It takes, coming up with really different ways than what we hear of how you fix problems. What works for one doesn't work for someone else. Okay, so the final questions mostly, I think, are pretty much all very similar, mostly about being vegan and our child and stuff. So let me kind of just start. And
He made the cut?
He made the cut. So Carla Saline, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right. Hi Carla, asked, how long have we been together? I said 11 or 13 and a half years. Oh, 3.
13 and a half.
Yeah, but married for 11 and a half. How old is your son? He's 6 and a half. Does your son eat vegan too? That was asked by a lot of you. So when we went vegan in February of this year, in my mind, I thought we're just all going vegan. Like, here we go. We did it. And he went, oh yeah. And I felt like it was going to just be an easy, like, no-brainer. And even for ourselves, that hasn't been the case, And that was tough with our kid. And he didn't understand. He was not even 6 at the time, and he just didn't grasp it like I thought anyone would. It was like, that was my bad, really. And, we have not forced it upon him. But I will say, for the most part, I would definitely say he's more on the vegetarian side for sure.
He is.
He really is. He's never been a huge meat eater, but he is still a dairy eater. He likes dairy.
Yeah.
That's hard, and we don't.
Dairy's still hard.
That's hard.
What are you talking about?
It's hard. It is, and but he likes the Boca chicken nuggets, like the fake nuggets. So there's
he gets down with those.
So we do still do alternatives for him and stuff as much as we can, but
we try and introduce.
Right, and I've also been asked by multiple people what kind of tips do you have for having your kids go vegan, and I can't give you a foolproof answer because ours hasn't. But I'm really focusing more, like we said, on introducing more things to him that are vegan instead of taking away right now. I feel like at his age, let's just try to introduce more and more and more, and hopefully eventually it kind of phases out the bad, and it kind of works, and he's a relatively healthy eater,
Well, and I mean, when I think about the choices of being vegan and why I chose to vegan, animal cruelty is part of it, and I know now that it's not good to eat animals. It's bad. But for me, it's also a huge dietary nutrition thing. And it's also an environment thing. And those are my 2 really huge ones. And for me to try and explain those 2 things to a 6-year-old.
Not only a 6-year-old, but a 6-year-old who has been eating a certain way for his whole life.
Hopefully I'll be able to explain that at that time too, but we don't force them. I guess we could, but I think the approach that we have is to add more.
I think for me, more so, I want to still learn more about this lifestyle on my own behalf and how it's working for us before I really even push it or come down on it for someone else. If he has a cupcake at school, if he has something at the grandparents' house that's not fully vegan, I'm not gonna lose it over that, you know.
If he has a bake sale at school, I'm not going to the PTA meeting. I'm pulling a bad moms and no MSG, no flour, no nuts. No. What can we make at a bake sale? Like,
we're just not that.
Yeah.
But if but it's hard, these are the kinds of things though that I do think about, and am I making the right choice? Am I doing it right? Those are the things. It's so funny how like you can ask me pretty much anything about me and I don't care. I feel confident in who I am, about me. But when you ask stuff about kids, like, you're more than welcome to, but I don't know what parent knows without a shadow of a doubt that they are doing the right thing.
I just try and think about how long the therapy sessions are going to need to fix them later. I try and minimize that.
It's hard. It's hard to know which way is the right way, and you don't want to throw too much at them if it's not something you're going to stick with. I think we will, but I want to give it more time on my part even to know if this is what we're going to be doing. I haven't really been vegan that long. It hasn't even been a year.
Yeah, which is weird.
February.
Which is weird because I feel like it's been forever. And that's just the toughness of the journey sometimes.
She also asked us, do you want more kids? Nate wants a vasectomy for Christmas.
Oh man, so I'm a 99.99%er that I'm very, very good.
I think we could have possibly, been different to it if we had done something maybe like sooner. But like we said, he's 6.5. If I got pregnant right now, he'd be 7 by the time baby came. And the idea of truly starting over, as they would say, doesn't really appeal to us. We don't have if something happened, we'll embrace it, but there's no pit missing either. That's the big thing. Because you can kind of get over the age gap, even if you don't prefer it, you can get over it. And I think though, neither of us really have a missing feeling. We're good. We are good. And so nothing's foolproof, but we're pretty sure we're done.
The joke about the vasectomy thing. Come on, guys. At some point, you just want to be a safe date. You know what I mean?
I don't know if I'm saying your name right, but it's Bix or Bikes. Bix, Biks, and she's very, very nice. But also asked, is our son vegan? And also asked, what does he like to eat? So, like I said, he's primarily vegetarian for sure, but let's list some of the things he likes. He likes pancakes, vegan or not. He likes quesadillas is a big one. And we try to change those up a lot too, of just like different things slipped into it even. Mm-hmm. He loves bread and butter. Vegan butter.
Yeah, you can vegan butter some bread.
Who doesn't, right?
And he says it just like that too.
I want bread and butter.
I want bread and butter.
Butter. He loves, pizza, which, we can even make like our homemade versions of it even. Yeah. He loves that. Noodles. I liked noodles. He likes pasta noodles with different things. He loves like apples and bananas. Yeah. He's not the best veggie eater, what kid is, but he does love fruit. He does.
And he eats grapes. The most 0 calories, 0 sugar rice cakes. You guys have seen them.
They're terrible.
We're not even joking. I'm not going to eat that garbage. Those things are horrible. Yeah. But he does that. He munches on craisins.
Yeah, he loves dried fruit. Loves that. Fruit. It's almost like fruit snacks even, I think.
Yeah. Veggie straws.
Yeah, loves those.
So a lot of healthy alternatives that.
Oatmeal, loves oatmeal. Camellia Diamonds asked, why did we go vegan?
What a cool name.
I know, huh? Camellia.
Is that your real name?
That's cool, huh? Camellia Diamonds,
nice.
Yeah. Is your son plant-based? Will we continue the meal plan we just did, the high carb Hannah's meal plan? We definitely plan to take, I kind of mentioned this when I talked about my recap of it, definitely take parts of it for sure. Are we going to do it as stringent of day in and day out like we were? Probably not, but
I've eaten a lot of sweet potato.
Yeah. And we made the dressing that we really like.
And I think now that this week is over, because today's Friday, I I think I'm okay on sweet potatoes for
You're
next
good?
week.
She also asked, do we use a Berkey? I don't know if I'm saying that. Berkey water filter? I'm not sure if maybe she spelled it wrong or I'm reading it wrong.
Berkey water filter? Like a Brita?
Maybe. I don't know. So we have a fridge. Our fridge is like a GE fridge that has the built-in like water and ice and stuff, and that takes filters. Yeah,
that has
like Brita's or something.
It's not a.
It's not Brita, but it's like it.
It's a 5-part.
I don't really know.
There's like 5 levels of. I read the box. I don't know.
Yeah,
it filters water and it should make it healthier.
Yeah, nothing too special though. I'm not sure if I'm reading that right, but yeah. Why? And then she asked too, why did we go vegan? And like you said, you know, for health, animals, environment, it really started with our health being the primary, like, let's make a change.
Yep.
And then that turned into watching and doing a lot more research on veganism as a whole and watching a lot of documentaries. I don't think there's really any we haven't seen anymore, which is, you know, its own thing.
We Netflix and chilled like...
That was a lot. That was a lot. If you are newer to like veganism in general, I think some of the best ones to watch are Forks Over Knives, Cowspiracy, and if you can bear it, Earthlings, but that's a rough one. Earthlings was even hard for us to like get through. We had to take breaks with that one.
Yeah.
That's on YouTube.
It got...
It's rough.
There were part of Earthlings where it would start like the next chapter in the documentary.
Yeah,
we had to pause and I was just like, I just got up and I was like, okay, hold on. I'm trying to process. It's one
thing to know about it and know that that industry exists, but to truly see it is, and I mean see it, is, it's a lot.
If you have a weak stomach,
it's a lot.
It's
a lot, and I mean, obviously, you're probably thinking, yeah, that's what happens to cows and pigs and this. No, we're talking dogs, we're talking elephants, and I mean, beyond just the animals you think of, all of them, and it's a whole other world. And so, but if it's something that you are more interested in, I think it's important to watch it and learn, you know. But that was mainly why at first was truly health, and then it just turned into more. It's hard. It is hard, and because the world does not cater to being vegan at all, it just doesn't. But you know, it is consuming. You're always second guessing yourself, or you're always looking at something as if, should I support this or not? I mean, it's ongoing, but I think it's just the whole point of veganism as a whole is actually compassion. That's truly almost the definition. Veganism equals compassion. And it's like, so it's about living with compassion. And compassionate people are not perfect, but they have compassion. And that's what you're trying to do. You know, you're just trying to make better choices.
Better choices.
Better choices.
Is the best way to start almost
Don't
anything.
Beat yourself up because you will mess up. You will. Yeah.
So, you know, no one's perfect, but make better choices.
Yeah. Pink Coffee 89 from Twitter and YouTube. Who wants these names?
Who wants to know my Twitter handle? You guys ready for this?
What is it?
It's
I don't even know.
So it's Flan77_baller.
Does your son eat dinner at a different time than us, and does he eat vegan too? So that's a funny one because when Nate was working for Bank of America more recently, the last few years, we pretty much always all ate together because we could. Yeah. Now with some changes happening of scheduling, all of us almost eat at different times now, it seems like, and I hate it, but it's just readjusting. So sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. We all have sort of bad habits, to be honest, too, of just like he likes to watch TV when he eats. And I know we all should not do that, but sometimes we all do that. And so we try hard to sit at the table, or at least I'll sit on the couch then if that's what it's going to be. Stephanie Tree, does your son eat similar to us, or do we make him something different? So a lot of times it's both. Like I said, it's kind of just depending on what we're having too. Yeah. Most of the time though, if it is something different, we always like make him at least try what we're having. Yeah. You know, and she wanted to know too, how is the natural deodorant working for me? The new one that I got at Sephora. It's been all day. It's
For all day, that's not
okay,
bad.
that's not bad.
I was gonna say for all day, that's not bad.
That's not bad. I was gonna say though, I will do maybe like a true full like review on it as I use it even more because it really has only been like a week. I haven't really done anything overly like at the gym with it to like say, okay, it does not move that test, you know. But what really does though, you know? But as far as like around the house and light activity, it's been good. I like it, and it smells at first too, just in the tube. It smells good. The new vanilla ones I got.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, it smells
good.
really, really good. But I'll maybe do like a true like update for you guys in maybe a few more weeks or something. But so far so good. So that was the questions. Leave us more. We can do this again if you want. We'll wrap this up here because you guys are probably exhausted and tired of us. So if you've made it this far, you're amazing.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, look at him. He's almost asleep himself.
I'm okay. She gets so mad because I have deep eye sockets and I always look like I'm sleepy. I'm not sleepy, damn it. I'm wide awake.
I am here right now. So if you made it this far, hashtag how to love me, and we'll know that you made it.
I like doing Q&A. I like hanging out with you guys. It gives me purpose.
Aww. So thank you guys so much for watching. Please give this video a thumbs up if you have not already.
None of those. None of those. I see you.
I see you.
Right there, don't do it.
Thank you so much for watching.
Yeah.
And we'll do this again. Leave us your questions and let us know again if you want us to do that book chapter by chapter. We'll see you guys very, very soon.